and welcome back to Napoleon Total War 3 with this Peninsula campaign playing as Spain. I've just ended turn of the last video, in which we had a drop in battle, which actually turned the battle kind of inconclusive. Although, as we'll see, I was actually saved by one of my allies. So we do have even more agents. Almost at this point, I think I guess you can't have enough. A king dies, and we have a new leader, Philip the First, which is a bit odd. So we have Philip the First, looks like trash, but at least he's got management and points for the lower classes. I actually like that. So he's not completely useless ruler. However, I do like the fact that we've got him, but as the head of state, we've got Ferdinand the Seventh, King of Spain. So right now we have two kings of Spain, but I guess with the fact that this guy is now actually in charge, I can get rid of this guy, because he's nothing, the only thing he has is that he's status quo, and he's 3-star. So he's actually quite useless. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna do like I've done before, and let's get rid of the something of a banker. I really wanted to get rid of this guy. The thing is, I've already got a good treasurer, so yeah. We'll get rid of him. We'll get rid of him. Him. And then for the final one, we get one with prestige and knighthood. And he's also a tactician, so in case I need to switch him over, I can switch him over with the Duke. 2 management, minus for army, minus playwright is just minus management. Actually, I think it would be preferable, actually, because 4-star is 4-star. Now we still have 4-star on head of government, but we gained a 5th star for military, which I think is nice. Now what does it actually do? It does, upkeep is reduced, technology and recruitment cost and so on. It's increased, or for the better. So that was actually a good setup. I don't know if I made more money of that. It seems like it's gonna make about 300 more, maybe. Next up, I want to assassinate this bastard. And perfect, he's gone. These agents can move through the north. I still need a priest out here. So if I have a priest on the way, close by. That's Portuguese. This is one of my agents. You might as well turn around then, because your target is dead. We do have a provocateur. He'll make his way over there. Right. You'll make your way over there. And we got Portuguese agent. Right, so with that done, I'll tell you what saved me. So this is the army that was left after the battle of last video. And as you can see, it's at half strength, roughly. Lots of troops were lost. Not a single specific unit was lost, but troops of all of these were lost to about half strength in a lot of these cases. And as you can see, the French were coming in with reinforcements. This is the general from the previous battle. I think the general for this army actually died. Oh no, he's alive. You just don't know about his whereabouts, I guess. But they came in. Luckily for me, though, the Portuguese army that was situated right here, probably going for Lyon, actually then turned over to move here. And not only that, they put themselves right next to this area right here. The thing is, though, if I drag them into a battle here, I think it could be that we end up with the entire force possibly fighting. These guys gonna double back. The thing, I moved these over because I was gonna try and get more of an even battle, because, well, there was a lot of stuff. I was trying to move them over there to see if I could correct it a little bit, because as I was moving around to actually facilitate or set up the battle, I ended up with a few occasions where it didn't actually match, like a 50-50% sort of match up in terms of power. The French army that was over here, that I tried to move in before they were able to reinforce here, they actually moved in here. So currently, you can't see them, but they're supposed to be here, like in between here. So it looks like they'll be going for this area. So I'm just gonna stop building in that, because no point in putting money towards stuff where the enemy's gonna take it. We have a small French force moving in behind. No idea what these guys are going. But I guess they're just trying to ruin my day. We can have a lot of these, but they're, as it turns out, they're god awful. So I'm not sure what to do with these, but we do have troops coming up. I'm trying to get every single one of sort of the special units going out. It would be nice if I could actually know if there's provinces that I'm missing special troops out of. Like if I change this to a military barracks, would I get Ciudad Real troops come out of there or so on? I think though we're on good terms with everything. I'm thinking for this episode what we'll do is I'll strike with this force and I'll strike the enemy force here. Now because they're in a town means that I won't be able to get it to work as a drop-in battle. So the thing is, drop-in battle is definitely to be preferred, I think, because it provides a lot more resistance, better battles and so on. But in terms of logistics, like, setting up the right time, making sure that I have prepared and so on, that makes it a little bit more difficult. And also that's why, partly, I always make sure that I have recorded quite a few episodes ahead. So I've always got something to post, even though, for some reason, it ends up that I'm not able to produce something because of logistics. Right, there's no really that much move. Oh yeah, you actually. Oh, you're supposed to meet up with this troop right here, and then you're supposed to go after that. Now I remember. Well, you will sit here then. The thing though is I'm probably have to push these through pretty quickly to go after this force. This force could use some cannons, for sure. But I'm out of cannons. But right, that's that. And so that's that. And that's that. I'm missing one small army, right? For sure I am. Why have I've lost an army. Let's go take a look here. The amount of soldiers. This one is the one I'm missing. No, this one is the one that's going after here. Now the thing is, they're sitting in the woods, meaning that they will be able to possibly ambush this force if I go storming into the woods. What I'll do is I'll send this force down to the supply depot, so that if they're standing out in the open without the general, they won't get reinforcement. If they stand within an area, they will still get reinforcement. The idea is to move this force then against these that are behind enemy lines. Or possibly I could use these. There's an opportunity actually of building the drill school up. And maybe we might find that there's some interesting units to be recruited here. Although I kinda doubt it. I think I've kinda got everyone. But we'll see. So you'll jump over and you'll place yourself in Lyon. And that should be enough, hopefully, to next turn be able to go through and chase down the French force that is going through there. Right. I'm gonna hold this off, just because it's got such a big battle, and it could be interesting. Actually, doing that as a drop-in would be very difficult, wouldn't it? Because the AI controls, like, the bigger part of the allied force. So without reinforcements from, like, this army, I would be in a very terrible position. Although at the same time the French are definitely in a terrible position as well, as the troops that are stationed within the town certainly have lost a lot of men. And the thing though, the force out here is gaining troops. So that's a bit nasty. I've been talking way too much now. Let's go ahead and strike the enemy and get a battle going. And then for the next episode we'll try to figure out what we're gonna do with this force right here. So what I want to do is I want to take Pamplona, and we're one step closer. Well, actually we will. No, Pamplona does not go all the way to the coast, but that leaves them just this sliver to keep the supply lines open into what they have left of Spain. And then for next we could jump over to Vitoria and take that. And suddenly France is completely pushed out of Spain, more or less. And hopefully we'll see the Brits come in and help aid us. I want to kind of see what's going on here, so I'm going to have the priest closer to that. It's kind of funny how we're turning this area to anti-French, even though we're in France, right? Yes, let's go ahead and strike then. It could be that there's some upset here. This area is within woods. Nope, they do not have any type of reinforcing armies. The thing is, I think I mentioned this in an early episode. I've just started releasing the episodes, and people in the first episode were complaining about, not complaining, is they were setting me straight, is what I should say, about certain pronunciation, and the command right here was one of the ones mentioned. But enough of that. Let's drum up and march to war and fight this enemy force. So quickly here to explain what's going on. So what we can see here is I'm starting down here in the L position. We'll turn it into a W soon enough. The enemy controls part of town, but most importantly this very high hill. We'll try to attack that. As we can see, they've got engineer and placed bombs over there, so we don't want to march onto that. So we're gonna have to, I mean, I could bypass that through the woods and so on, but we're gonna try and avoid that mostly. So we're gonna march right up, right at the highest elevation, or ground change. I don't think the AI is gonna be clever enough to contest me there. We're gonna march up the cannons roughly to there, and then march the troops in attacking order towards the hill. With that said, let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna get the cannons going first, and I've got the militia units of Seville. They're gonna be guarding the artillery. I'm gonna place cavalry there. Now when I actually think about it, because there's not a lot of room on this side for the troops to move, these ones should actually cross over and maybe take part in the attack on that side. Currently though, I've got an entire army marching in front of them. So we might want to wait a little bit until a large part of this force has passed. Currently we can only really see the enemy general out there. Oh yeah, the first time I think for the cuirassiers, my own, we saw how the French cuirassiers did really well in the last battle. Well, I mean, they could probably have done better, but I think it's a quite fearsome unit. I'm guessing they just become really tired really quickly. So you'll have to make sure to time precisely. Right, we have spotted the sappers. They have actually formed into a square in the woods. And then we've got enemy cavalry that is pulling back across the field. So I gather that the smoke that we can see here, or the dust that is being trampled up, was actually from enemy formations. It's just that, oh, look at that. We got lots of cavalry. I don't remember they had that much cavalry during the deployment phase, but that's a lot. I have 2 on this side and then 3 on this side. And on this side I only have the smaller Hussar unit. I'm gonna actually pull that back. This is actually not good at all. Possibly. These 3 smaller units need to claim this ridge. And suddenly, these are actually needed here. It's good that I never sent them off. And this larger cavalry unit will now be moved. Oh, sounds like they're actually moved into action against the units over here. The problem is that you look at the terrain here and we'll have a hard time actually shooting at the enemy force. Right, probably best to form into square already. And order the cavalry to charge over there. This unit's getting run over by the enemy. By enemy heavy cavalry. Now they're gonna be broken by the square. But I'm sure we're gonna... yeah. This unit's gonna run. But so is the enemy cavalry. Okay, so those 3 units are gone, but we lost a unit over there. Right, these marching to reinforce. I'm thinking we're gonna have to put the militia into work there as well. And then I'll get a little bit better positioning for the artillery, focusing in towards their infantry. And then we'll start turning these smaller units to meet the enemy general up onto the hill. Right, these guys have come back. That's good. They rallied. But so did the enemy cavalry. We need to drop the square. And then we need to form into lines. A big heavy cavalry unit is going to move on to the side. It's huge comparatively to a lot of other units. I mean, it's 200 troopers in it. Which seems very unbalanced given just what we know of Napoleon World War III, of how you know, how easy it is for the morale to break and so on. And then to have these massive cavalry units that can destroy armies on their own just by the sheer weight of their numbers. Seems a little bit unbalanced. Like, not entirely sure why they would make them so huge. Looks like someone didn't have enough. I want to tangle with my hussars once more. I'm pretty sure the cannons will be able to fire over any troops that I move forward here. So we'll move the militia over there, and then these two to plug the gap over there. And then you'll gain a bit more ground. I just love the concentration of enemy troops. It means that we can push so much cannon shot into this mess. Right, my hussars, once again successful, but at this point very tired. Let's see if we can gain some more ground here. They are sending forwards this cavalry unit, which I don't know about. Ooh, they're getting hit by cannon shot. Their entire enemy force is marching straight down upon me. Can we dislodge that cavalry so I can actually start moving some units around? Holy crap, they're going straight at us, aren't they? Right, form into lines quickly now, quickly. We sent off the armed citizenry. Let's have this line move back and join the rest of the line. I was hoping I'd be able to move up and, you know what, let's see if we can't maybe charge and get rid of those voltigeurs harassing my heavy cavalry unit. I'm gonna order it forward actually. Just slightly. Oh, forgot about the cuirassiers. Gain the high ground.
Sir! Sir! Our general is under attack!
Dislodge the voltigeurs. They're counter-charging. It's not going to work out well. They're not in a compact formation. And they just got destroyed. Opening up for the heavy cavalry to continue forward here. We're gonna, even though if the hussars are really tired, I'm gonna order them forward as well. Oh, looks like they're sending everything forward in a weird, massive charge. Oh, this is gonna be nasty. It looks like they're charging us here. I thought they were gonna attack this guy. It's gonna be a cavalry and cavalry. And at the same time we got do not engage with the enemy, pull back. The French are just throwing their troops into charges against us. Right. Let's get the cavalry units to come in around the enemy. They're marching straight into all the fire. Yeah, one by one they're starting to break. March up and see if you can't block them. And now my cavalry is coming in from the sides. It's a slaughter. Could then very well be high time to hold fire and try and avoid as much friendly fire as possible as my cavalry goes in to end all of this. Might want to just march to kill as many of those as possible. Oh, now their cannons decided to make an appearance.
The men are fatigued.
I don't know where they were hiding throughout the battle. An absolute slaughter in terms of the infantry. Right, everyone is ordered forward in a reasonable manner. Let's try to avoid running onto the bombs, shall we? But I think we're done here. Victory has been achieved. A decisive victory. Quite a bit different statistics then from the drop-in battle. I lost 400 men while the enemy lost everything. In terms of... I actually walked over the bombs just to test if I could trigger them for maybe something spectacular for the thumbnail or something like that. I wasn't able to trigger them. Well, I did march over the light troops to reduce casualties, but for some reason they weren't triggered. We killed almost 1,000 men with one of the cavalry units, and then obviously the rest of the cavalry to follow with Triadors following with the 1st infantry unit. And as we go down, even the general managed to score 13 kills in the battle. Peacefully occupy. A wonderful grasp of the shovel. He's been sieging enough of these areas. Right, this guy needs to get assassinated. Or I could just visit him. Yeah, well, fuck that guy, yeah. I should have loads. Right, I'm just gonna move around a few characters and stuff like that. Spend some money. And then for the next one, we might have a rematch here. Depending on if I'm able to actually get a secondary drop-in battle around there. Possibly with reinforcements. But we'll see what we'll do for the next one. Here is definitely a crucial battle. It's one of our big armies that is at stake at this point, surrounded, although with Portuguese allies. So we'll see what we can do there. But even if that falls, I think it's only a slight setback because, well, I've got my other 2 smaller armies ready to march to fill the gap if this army would be completely annihilated. And I do have my army over here. But with that said, we took another province from the French. Now, they actually are reduced to one of the victory conditions, which is that France should only hold 5 regions, which they currently do. So, realistically, the only thing I need to do, not realistically at all, technically is what I'm looking for. Technically, if their home province falls, then I am victorious and I won the campaign. But it looks like we're gonna have to take everything from them. And if the campaign goes as it currently is, I might add on extra achievements of achieving total Spanish dominance in the peninsula by attacking the Portuguese and the British to see how we can fare against those as well. But we'll see what we'll do. So for now, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!